I'm going to show y'all the best 4-speed shifter known to mankind. This right here is a Hurst. They used to call them V-gates or Ram Rods back in the day. I had this in a 1968 Firebird. I had a 468 with a big tunnel ram, 2 4-barrels, M21 4-speed, and this is what I ran in that car. But what you do with these things, instead of having the H pattern, is you lift up on this little black handle and you go straight into first, straight back to second, let off the handle, straight up into third, and straight back to fourth. And that little black shifter right there is your reverse lockout. You put it in neutral and you slide that one forward and that gives you reverse. And these are some badass shifters, man. I'm telling you what, you talking about speed shifting now. They are unequaled as far as I'm concerned. I ran this thing a lot back in the day, man. This is what I used to race with back in 42. Here's the M21 that it's going to go on. Thing I got to do with this shifter, though, is, let me see my plate. Right here, see this plate right here bolts to the side of the transmission. Kind of like right along in here, in that area. Right there in them 3 holes. But see, the problem with this, putting this setup in this car, is if I use this plate right here where it is on this transmission, my shifter's going to hit the dash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of 1/4-inch steel and I'm going to make me a plate of my own that'll come on back. I don't know, I'm not sure how far yet, probably about 6 inches or 8 inches or so to bring the shifter back away from the dash of the car. So I got plenty of room where I can shift it. I had this in a 1980 Smoking the Bandit Trans Am, and I ended up cutting the dash apart to get it to work because it was so far forward. But I'm not doing that on this car. This car here, like I say, I'm going to take me a piece of 1/4-inch steel and I'm going to make me a scab, a plate to come back to here, and then I'll bolt this piece back here somewhere in this general area, and then I can mount the shifter to it here, here, and here, and then, you know, it'll be farther back between the seats on this car. I'll show you where it was at. Right now it's got a Competition Plus in here. See, that's a Competition Plus. And see, if I put that shifter in this location right here, all this stuff for the radio, all this mess is going to have to go, because that V-gate will run right into that ashtray and stuff. So what I want to do is I want to bring it back along in this area right along in here. So that's what we're going to do when I drop this thing back together. That's what's going back in it, which that's a pretty cool little shifter there. Like I say, it's a Competition Plus, but there's no equal to this one right here. If you're going to be drag racing, man, with a 4-speed car, I'm telling you, man, these things are like shifting butter. And they're just so fast, you can't beat them. You can't beat them. And I like that reverse lockout too. But I ran it on the street in my 68 Firebird for many years. I ended up flipping that car end over end through a field one night. And put me in hospital for a little while, and it destroyed the car, man. So that's what happened to my 68 Firebird. It was totaled. Luckily, I had a roll cage in it, a roll bar. And I mean, last thing I remember was going into second gear, man. That thing picked the wheels up off the ground. It was crossed up in the road a little bit. And I know y'all know in North Carolina, on the side of 2-lane roads, you got like a little ditch on the side of the road. Well, when I crossed up in the road a little bit to the right, and when I went off the road, the nose of it dropped down in that ditch, and the people that was out there said you could see the headlights shining through the trees and shit as that car was flipping end over end. And then it rolled a couple of times, threw me out of the car. And I had my buddy with me, and he remembers everything. I got knocked out. Last thing I remember was going into second gear. It stalled. And then when it started back up, I had my foot on the floor for the gas, and them 2 4-barrels was wide open. That thing just stood up, man. And it happened so fast, I just, I couldn't. It was a mess. But I don't even remember the accident. Last thing I remember was putting my foot on the brake, my left foot on the brake, and telling Robert to hold on, and then it was over after that. I woke up in the hospital, but So anyway, well, this is the shifter I'm going to put in here with this transmission right here. I got the car jacked up where I want it to be. I'm going to pull the drive shaft out of it. Wife's here. I'm going to get her to help me take the hood off. I got to find somewhere to put the hood. You know, when you build a shop, you know, you get stoves and washing machines and dryers and, you know, Joe Blow's V6 Toyota engine in here. And, you know, I'm cramped for space. So if y'all ever build a shop, if you think you want it 30 by 60 or whatever, build it 60 by 100, because you ain't never going to get it big enough. It ain't ever going to be big enough. You start accumulating stuff, you know what I mean? And pretty soon you're overloaded. So, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut me a man door in behind these toolboxes here, and I'm going to build me a storage area in the back off of this back wall right here, back in that area. I got plenty of property back there. I can build me a storage unit, so put some shelves up and stuff, and that way I can get rid of all this crap on the sides of my shop. You know, a lot of it's, you know, I mean, like that engine hoist, and that's an engine right there, a core charge I got to return, and that black crate right there. But you know, just stuff accumulates, man. That right there is the engine that came out of this 75 Firebird. It's a 350. There's a turbo 350 transmission, just like that heater. You know, I ain't gonna need that heater till winter time, and you know, it's just in the way. You know, just all this stuff, man. There's the engine stand my dad built. Check that thing out, man. You could hang a Detroit diesel engine on that bad boy. That thing is built. There's a regular one. That's crazy. Anyhow, I just want to show you all that shifter right quick and getting moving on it, man. This took me a little longer. I would work on my neighbor's tractor, and we got it running pretty good. But I'm going to keep plugging away at it, man. I'm 63 now. I'm not as spry as I once was, so got to do what I got to do. I'm thinking about taking the bumper off, taking the radiators and condenser and stuff out of there, and just pull the whole front end off the car, because I got to get that stuff off of there and sand it down or sandblast it and paint it and all that too. And another thing too, I want to get all this. See how that rust is right there, man? Shit down here by the beach. I'm telling you, this salt air, it rusts everything. So, but anyway, I want to get this cleaned up in here too. You know what I mean? I want to get the engine re-ring, some new bearings in it, time and change stuff, and just freshen it up a little bit. It ain't got that many miles on it, but you know, it's sat more than it's run over the years. And get the engine bay cleaned up. You know, I want it to look decent when I get done with it. It ain't gonna be no show car, but it can still look better than it does. Anyhow, I'll be in touch with you guys. We'll keep it moving.